We are indeed watching part 2 of what was not originally a 3-part series, but now is. It's a 3-part series. It's a ridiculous werewolf film from the 80s with only a bare hint of a plot and mostly nonsense. And it's a werewolf film, and it stars Angela Lansbury. So, oh, goodness gracious. We shall recap what I wouldn't even say learned. Let's just say what happened. And by happened, I mean that as a very loose term of what happened in the first third of The Company of Wolves. Right off the bat, we started playing, and this was the very first screen that popped up. Starring Angela Lansbury. The very first thing to show at all. That's their way of saying the most important thing in this film is Angela Lansbury, which is great, nothing wrong with that, but you'll see why that's a little confusing moving forward here. Then it goes back and forth between her and this sister here. Now this sister, you could already see the problem here of what's happening. What happened to this poor girl? We have done the first 10 minutes and then said goodbye to everyone, and we have not seen them again. Angela Lansbury joins us. Finally. She is the grandmother of this girl here, and mostly she's kind of salty. That's kind of really what she mostly just salty throughout this film. She never calls this young girl her granddaughter, but she does explicitly talk about this young girl's sister being dead and saying, I was going to make her a scarf, but I suppose I'll make it for you now. Granny don't give 2 shits about this girl. Granny sits down and starts telling a story. So we are now 3 levels into the inception. We had the girl, and then we have this whole story, which I guess is a dream. And now Granny is going to be then telling a story that is also then its own subset story. Woof. Hang on, folks. So, remember, it's a werewolf film. Everything else we've seen so far doesn't really have anything to do with anything. We're just now getting to the werewolves. So, after standing and quietly talking for about 2 minutes, then the wife smiles, then she throws a grenade in the bed, then she pulls a hedgehog out of the bed, then the husband reveals he has a unibrow, then he steps on the hedgehog, then he declares he needs to go outside to go pee. And just because he knows exactly what you're thinking, he declines to answer any questions at all, and then leaves. And then the wife just lays down and goes to sleep. Making sense yet? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Then the movie remembers that it stars Angela Lansbury. And it cuts back to Angela still not knitting a scarf. She continues to just play with the yarn as she tells this story to her granddaughter. And then he decides to yell and start peeling his skin off, which I will say from a writing standpoint, I want to applaud, because that legitimately is one of the coolest, most original ideas of how to transform into a wolf that I've ever heard. Looks great at times, looks real doofy at others. This frame makes me think that he transforms, but then stops halfway and is and then for no reason is hey, gotta smoke? I wanna go play some craps in the back alley. Oh man, like I said, this movie is hit or miss, mostly miss. And then the whole first third of the film cuts back to Angela Lansbury asking her granddaughter for a kiss because doesn't she deserve a kiss? And that is the first third of The Company of Wolves. Her face. I know. What is that face? Okay, Angela, we're doing this scene, and I need you to look like you are absolutely hammered on sherry. This movie wants me to not like it. And so she kind of wakes up. She kind of does one of those like, ooh, what's going on? And then she props her arm up like this. And then remember, this is Granny right here. And she does one of those, like, you up? It was very weird. And then she looks away to, I assume, whatever noise she's looking at over this way, which is good. And so she kind of looks, and then she's going to lay back down, and then does one of these, like, looks at Granny again. Please stop. This girl is supposed to be, I'm assuming, between 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. Either way, she's a minor. Also, it's your grandmother. Oh, wrong on so many levels. Yeah, okay. I want to pause only because I want to make this general blanket statement. I want to see Angela Lansbury kick more people. No judgment on the mom and dad being married couple having their marital affairs. Nothing wrong with that. Weird that they're in the exact same room as the daughter, and the daughter just wakes up, sees it happening, and then just kind of shrugs it off and goes back to sleep. Weird film. Very weird. Granny is either a champion knitter and within a day made that entire blanket before going to the sister's grave, or you're right, there was some huge leap in time. Frankenpeaches, or she has nothing better to do than knit and tell murder stories. I agree. I absolutely agree. Granny has proven that she has nothing. But now there's a car. Okay, pause. Hold on. Pause. What the fuck is happening? That is... What is just in the infinitive? What? So, okay. I'm not going to give this movie this much credit, but if I were writing this film, here's the twist that I would take from here. I would take the twist that Rosaline is actually a werewolf hunter and is ageless. Like, not a vampire, but she is constantly forever in like a 14-year-old girl's body because she too is mystical. And at night, she sneaks out and kicks ass of other mystical monsters. That should have been this film. Now, I'm beginning to think this was a directorial choice because every single person in this film pulls the weirdest faces for no reason. First we had the running girl doing the whole like when she's scared, and then we had Granny doing the don't you want to give Granny a kiss? And then we had this boy who's being turned into a werewolf doing one of these, not even like open screaming, but like the worst, like to the side, like, like very obviously contorting in a really fake way. I have to assume at this point the director was like, yes, ooh, no, more. No, that's still too realistic. I need more fakeness from you. We are halfway through the film, almost in 45 minutes, and we just now established that this young girl is supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood. There have been hints at it before, absolutely, but that's not like a weird twist or revelation. So why did it take half the film to establish her as Little Red Riding Hood? This could have been something literally right off the bat that we could have gone, and it wouldn't have changed anything at all. But there's a bunch of random spiders raining, and not only did she not care, she's just like, oh, there's 12 spiders on my Bible. Please, go away. I'm in church. So that's, okay, I hope that's what they're setting up, because that would be really interesting if once again it's this girl that is supposed to be scared of things, but for some reason she isn't. I do like that. Once again, we are halfway through the film and finally setting things up that I believe are supposed to be important. Oh, come on. And we have 50 minutes in, 50 minutes into this 90-minute film, we finally have an actual wolf. Like, we've had nothing but fluffy dogs up to this point. Friendly, fluffy dogs, and they finally have an actual wolf appear. I feel, and it's only the one, which doesn't surprise me, but I feel like they wanted a bunch of wolves for this whole film, and they got a hold of a wolf tamer, and the wolf tamer, wolf breeder, whatever the term would be for that, the industry term would be, basically said, well, I'm between 2 different movies right now. I only have one wolf, and I'm only available on March 3rd. And they basically just said, okay, yeah. Yes, we'll make it work. Just go ahead and, just 8 a.m. call. We'll get you out of there in 12, and we'll get as many scenes as we can. And then I feel like this is the only scene they were able to get with the one wolf in the entire film. And then after that day was over, the director just turned to like the AD and was like, so those dogs that you talked about before. And the AD was like, I will make the calls right now. Shannon, do you still have those 12 dogs at the boarding house? Yeah, ask their owners if we can borrow them for a couple extra weeks. And more fluffy dogs. Aww. And the musicians are still just playing, and the guard is still just, like, the butlers and the guard are just standing there, like, they don't care. Like, as if this happens every Tuesday. Yep. Those French royals, they turn into dogs. And then they make a mess. I wish it was our place to tell them no, but we're just the serving class. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we are going to pause there, because we are now at the 1 hour and 4 minute mark. Which means we are in the home stretch. Next week, we can finish this thing. It's kind of like when a kid tells a story, and like a little kid tells a story, and the little kid's like, so there's this girl, and she's dreaming, and she's dreaming of this girl whose sister died, and the grandmother tells her a story of this woman who gets married, but the husband goes away, and then like there's no end, there's no train of thought. It's just free association from one step to the next. Oh. Starring Angela Lansbury.